Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Morgana Galaxia. I'm glad to be with you today. If you're new, welcome. I'm getting on today because I want to take a look at a few viewer questions actually, one of which is what's China's next move? So I'm going to take a look at China. I also want to take a look at the Marine Le Pen Macron election. And then let's take a look at Marjorie Taylor Greens because, she's being compelled to show up in court on Friday to defend herself against this lawsuit that wants to make her ineligible to run again because she was part of the insurrection. And her case is not the only one like this, but it's the first one that's making its way to court. So it's probably going to set some precedent for any future cases that try and ban people from being elected because of their participation in this insurrection. So that's what's on board today. And let's get started with China. So China's next move, I feel like they showed their hand a little bit already. I guess some politicians, including Lindsey Graham, went over to Taiwan. And, that's really provocative for China. Considering what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, and, Russia considering Ukraine a part of Russia, not recognizing their sovereignty and just invading, there's some similarities there, right? With China and Taiwan, them not recognizing Taiwan's sovereignty. And man, they get a hair up their ass anytime anybody communicates with Taiwan, visits them, hosts them, anything like that. Like Russia, they're bullies. They try and tell other countries who they can be friends with and who they can't be friends with. And, they're just pushing their weight around there. So, as a result of this recent visit by Lindsey Graham, Pelosi might have been there. I haven't confirmed that, so I'm not sure about Pelosi. But I did hear Lindsey Graham was among them. And so China, one of China's retired officials basically came out and has told his people, or telling the Chinese people to prepare for military struggle. Now, the headline always makes it seem like, oh, they want to tussle with the U.S. If you read the article, it sounded more like they would go into Taiwan and cause some mischief in Taiwan. Okay. So I just brought that up because I feel like that was just China kind of showing their hand a little bit about what they're concerned about, what they might do next. But let's take a look at China's next move as it pertains to Russia and Ukraine. Okay, how they're going to deal with NATO, how they're going to deal with the US or Russia, or Putin, what have you. And if that does include Taiwan, maybe we could see that in the cards. But I really want to look at China's next move. So yeah, the other headline I saw from them was that they are going to be standing by Russia no matter what. No matter who wins or who loses, no matter who is the aggressor, no matter how many people are murdered, they are claiming that they're going to stand by Russia. No matter what. So is this true? Is this true? What is China's next move? What is China's next move? Okay. Let's see what China's next move might be. Well, we're starting right off here with the Strength card. So they're going to make a show of strength of some kind. The challenge is the Emperor. And the result is Judgment. So they're making, I'm going to bring this down, see if you can see these cards here a little bit. So they're making a show of strength, but this strength is looking away from the Emperor, okay? So, I'm feeling, is this China? Is this Russia? Let's take this for a moment here. So I think this is China. they are looking away, showing strength away from Russia, with Russia behind her back. So to me, this is a protective move, that Russia is going to protect, China is going to protect Russia, kind of stand up in front of them, be a bit of a bodyguard, and show strength to the adversary here. And with the end card here being Judgment, yeah, this shows some sort of end. Judgment is often an ending. A judgment occurs after an event, or after some behavior, after some crime has taken place, right? At the end of it all, when everything's said and done and reviewed, a judgment has been declared. So it insinuates there's an ending of some kind, and a judgment is being made. So this might be them just finally, I'll bring it up, finally sort of making that call, making that decision about what side they're coming down on, who they're going to support and who they're not going to support. And this reiterates to me that they're going to be supporting Russia. Again, showing that, showing a strong face, presumably to NATO, with Russia being protected behind that friendship, that bond between them. And then, yeah, they're gonna make a judgment. They're presumably a judgment against NATO, against the US, in behalf or for Russia. They're going to firm up, really declare their support here for Russia. So that is where, I feel like that's where we are now, because as I said, there's that article coming out. They're going to support Russia no matter what. So I'm going to do another row under this to see if we can go a little deeper here. Okay, so under the Strength card, we have the Two of Cups. Again, this is talking about the bond, the relationship that China and Russia have. Why is China going to show that strength in a protective stance with Russia? Because of their close bond. It's with these cups, it shows the emotions. It's an ideological bond here. Under the Emperor that I'm calling Russia in this spread, we have the Page of Cups. Okay, so I'm seeing this as Russia kind of coming and begging, hey, China, can you help us out? Can you fill our cup here a little bit? Can you give us some protection? Can you kind of cover our asses? Can you help us out? This page is telling me they're being subservient. They're taking, they're calling in a favor for China here, and they're kind of, a little head bowed, a little, showing that they've kind of been diminished here. They're asking for help. They're asking for assistance. So that's what Russia's doing. Under the Judgment card, which I'm reading as China finally declaring that they've decided to partner with Russia, be against NATO. Under that card, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a huge karmic moment for them, and one that can turn their fortune, turn the wheel of their fortune, of their karma. So I think Russia, this is not a good sign for for China, because China's kind of in a good place, right? There's always tension with the US, there's always trade problems, and there's always Taiwan, there's always this stuff going on. But all in all, China's kind of doing well. They're not engaged in any huge military conflict. There's nothing really going on with China right now. Their country's prospering. They're kind of in a good place. So they're really putting their security, their reputation at risk here by doing what they're doing with Russia. This can change their fortunes on the world stage. So I think that I'm going to do the third row here for a finalization. Okay, So in the first column, I'll just bring it down so you can see it a little. I know you can't really see too much. But this is the third row, under and under. Okay, so with the strength that's right here, because of this bond, this ideological bond they have with Russia, that pans out here with the Nine of Pentacles. So this is affluent wealth. You got all the money that you need, all the confidence that that brings you. You're king of your domain here. So I'm feeling that they're going to try and bail Russia out of these sanctions. They're going to start funneling money there to Russia so they can feel like they can prosper, you know, just funneling money in. Here's Russia, that Russian emperor again, and here they are, kind of head bowed, begging for help from China. Ooh, we got the devil. So this tells me that, you know, they are in the wrong. They are the aggressor. Bring this back up. They are doing the evil. Just reiterating, regardless how tight they are with China or how much they beg for, how much money China gives them, it's not going to change the fact that Russia is perpetrating war crimes, mass murder, killing children, you know, disregarding your Ukrainian sovereignty. So this is a warning to China. Look who you're getting into bed with. Russia is in the wrong here, okay? Under the Judgment card, again, I think this is China making their judgment for Russia against NATO. Their fortunes could be changing with this Karma card. And here we have the King of Swords. King of Swords. So for me, this King of Swords, I'm sorry, King of Pentacles. He's holding a sword. But no, this is the King of Pentacles here. Which definitely has to do with the money. This is the king who doles out the resources, doles out the money. Okay, so the feeling I'm getting here is that Russia may have to, at minimum, encounter some criticism for helping Russia avoid sanctions, for, you know, funneling that money in so they're not, you know, suffering as much with sanctions as they should, right? So this is the rest of the world. You know, the U.S. has already warned China. I'm guessing NATO's already warned China, don't help Russia. There will be consequences. I think this is the start of looking at consequences for China. This is right under their judgment to help Russia, right under their karmic wheel, which is bound to change. And here they are being investigated, well, looked at. The money that they've moved around is being looked at. There's an authority here who's going to be reviewing the money and the resources. So that's what I'm getting for China's next move. They're just going to firm up and declare their support for Russia. They're going to try and help Russia evade sanctions by funneling money in or some kind of assistance, monetary resource assistance of some kind. But because because Russia is the aggressor here, perpetrating this evil, I think China is going to suffer some sort of decline. Their fortunes are going to be reduced. Their reputation is going to be reduced. They're going to come against some consequences for their support of Russia. So I'm feeling, you know, if this could be the World Bank, right? The economic forums, the G8, you know, or whatever bodies can, you know, maybe start looking at removing China from some of these committees, like how Russia was just kicked off of the security, no, I'm saying it wrong, with the Security Committee, you know, the committee that deals with human rights and stuff like that, the part of the, I believe, the UN. They're going to be looking at China's role on some of these committees as well, I think, and trying to see how they can punish them for what they've done to help Russia. All right, so that's what I'm seeing for China. Let's move on to Marine Le Pen and Emmanuel Macron in their French election. So if you don't already know, Marine Le Pen is like super right-wing, totally loves Trump, up Putin's behind. You know, if she were in the US, she'd just be a Trumpster, right? She is extreme right-wing, a Putin friendly. So that's the big fear, right? That if she wins this election, she is going to really mess with France and mess with the European Union, maybe take steps to try and yank France out of the European Union or cozy up to Putin. Maybe pull France out of NATO, right? Just like Putin was trying to get Trump to pull the US out of NATO. Remember how close we got there with Trump talking about NATO being useless and not wanting to be a part of that anymore? Marine Le Pen could do that with France, right? So first, yeah, let's just take a look at the election. So I'm going to take a look at both of them. I'm going to do Marine Le Pen here on this side, Macron here on this side. I'll bring you down, see if you could see these cards. Okay. Just give it a little shuffle. I'm going to bring you down. Just got one more. Okay. So, Marine Le Pen over here on this side. And here's Emmanuel Macron. Oof. Interesting. Okay, so I'll bring it back up. So for Marine, we're starting off here with the Magician. So, you know, I don't typically read my cards in the reverse, so I got to kind of feel out which way cards really, you know, the story they're given. So here with the Magician from Marine Le Pen. So this is, I'm just going to kind of go both ways here. So I would say she's underestimated. People aren't taking her as seriously as they should because she has the tools that she needs to succeed. So this would tell me she's probably pretty bright. She's probably got a lot of allies. She's got resources. The Magician has everything they need to manifest what they want to manifest. That's the plus of this card here. So, you know, it's easy to scoff at Marine Le Pen and think she's some crazy nutter and she doesn't have a chance in hell. Ooh, don't underestimate her. She can manipulate things and make things happen. That's the bad side of this card. It's the manipulation, the controlling, trying to manifest something that maybe you shouldn't, right? That just kind of weaving, you know, making that dark magic, doing darker things. How my best way to word this? Just the manipulation. There could be lies. You know, as opposed to a real magician, a fraudulent magician is through trickery, through deceit, sleight of hand, right? They're trying to trick you, make you look the wrong way, in order to swindle you, to get what they want through thievery. Okay, these kinds of things are also part of Marine Le Pen. So while she may have been able to have, she might have been able to be competitive or on her own on the up and up, she doesn't play on the up and up. She's playing dirty, trying to make things happen that shouldn't be happening. You know, trying to win, right? When she really shouldn't be winning because she's bad for France, she's bad for the world. She's, you know, she's, this card would say again, probably a liar, probably manipulative, deceitful, you know, a trickster. Her challenge is the Wheel of Fortune. So she can't rely on a certain outcome. She might think, oh, she's doing good, she's doing good, she's doing good. You know, you think you have some sort of trust in how things are playing out in front of you. No, don't trust that girl, because your fortunes are going to be changing. And if she thinks she's on the up, that means she's going to be rolling down. So this is telling me that this being a challenge to her, it's not positive. It's not an improvement in her circumstances. It's a decline in her circumstances. Her challenge is that her karmic wheel is going to roll on, towards the bottom, and things will be declining for her. Things will be more challenging. She's going to be facing some consequences, some accusations, some questions, right? Kind of starting now with people looking at her and how cozy she is with Putin and all that, but her fortunes are changing for the worse. And for her outcome, she has the Queen of Pentacles. So the feeling that I'm getting here for her outcome is that, I guess the first feeling I'm getting is that she's just gonna, after she loses, she's just gonna go back to being a wealthy socialite, or, you know, the wealthy elite. She's gonna go back home and count her money. She might go back home and start spending her money, start doling out funds to other people she supports, or to undermine, you know, to play dirty, things like that. So she's going to be forking out some cash at the end of this. But I don't think it's, I think it's after her loss. So I think with this manipulative, deceitful, you know, untrustworthy, is how she presents. People don't trust her. You know, as a right-winger, just like Trump has his Trumpsters and his MAGA people, she has her following. But beyond them, there's not a lot of trust for her. And again, her fortunes are going to be declining. Not her fortunes, her fortunes are declining. Yeah, I think that she's going to go back home. This isn't going to ruin her, right? She's still got all her money. She still has her contacts, and she's probably just going to go and move towards supporting other people, I think. So that's what I get for Marine. Cards don't look good for her victory. Here we have Emmanuel Macron, and he's presenting, starting right out here, as the Star. So that's really great for him. The Star, you know, he is sort of a star in that he's, as the incumbent, he's well known, he's on the world stage, people know what they're getting with him. There's a lot of support for him, and the Star also offers healing, just a healing and optimism. So I think people are seeing Macron as the better of the two options, that he could bring some healing to the country, or keep NATO secure, keep the EU secure, right? There's a lot of hope there for him to not to be the healer of NATO, but just sort of, you know, the hope is on him to keep his position and keep NATO and France and the European Union just secure. And, you know, they're optimistic that, you know, he's a better choice for the country. His challenge with the Ten of Swords, so this is a downfall card, you guys. This is a defeat for sure. And this is his challenge. So it could certainly be, you know, his defeat. His challenge is that he's defeated. He's brought down, brought low. The feeling I'm getting here more, though, is his challenge is certainly the attacks that are going to be levied against him, but it's more like his insecurity, his fears. You know, he's scared he's going to lose. Everyone around him is scared he's going to lose. And this sort of fear can certainly undermine his race, his re-election campaign. It's putting him in a bad headspace. He's just really worried. And that worry and that headspace being a challenge is going to undermine him in some way. So it could be his defeat, but this isn't his result card. This is his challenge. So I think it's the fear of it. The low, just the closeness of this race is really kind of freaking him out, putting him in a bad space. Maybe he's not going to act as together as he should, so a lot of anxiety. His result card with the Queen of Wands. So interesting, Marines was the Queen of Pentacles. Here we have another queen, the Queen of Wands. This is the Queen of Action, the Queen of Passion. So, if anything, I think this is a renewal of his commitment to certain actions on behalf of France. Once he's elected and he's feeling secure, he's going to go to work. He's going to go to work. There's a lot of things that need to be done, a lot of passionate work that he needs to be involved in. And yeah, Ukraine, big deal, right? European Union, everything that's going on over there right now is just such high drama. There's so much passion. There's so much work, so much emotion around it. He's going to be doing that kind of work. And, I can't help but feel that with this queen, there's this feminine energy there. There might be a female stepping in to help him with this work. There's a female stepping in. Maybe, I don't know a lot about French politics. If he has a deputy or a vice president or some woman in his administration that's really going to help him get this done or do the work that he needs to do. So again, these cards are really striking. There's some similarities there, but the presenting card between them, night and day. Here she is, manipulating, deceitful, trying to control things. And here he is, the light of the star, optimism, healing, and hope. Their challenges is her fortunes are going to be declining, and he's got high anxiety, worried this might be his end. For the outcome, though, so similar. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. There's a parity between these cards, an equality between these two queens. So it does indicate the closeness of this race. It is really tight. That is what's causing him so much anxiety, right? That it's not a slam dunk for him. But as I'm reading this, I think Marine's going, back home to her money, maybe do some fundraising, maybe some, sharing of resources, where Macron's going back home, getting ready to do some work, start some initiatives, really be a leader for the French people. And, if there's a woman coming in to help him with that, all the better. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting for them. So let's move on to Marjorie crazy-ass Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene. So this case tomorrow. So this isn't like the end result of this case here. This is just starting. It's just starting. But she is being compelled to appear. And she will be under oath. And she will be testifying. So, I want to look beyond just Friday to the end of this case. What's going to be the outcome? Because this is really going to signify how other similar cases move forward, right? So, in the end, will Marjorie Taylor Greene be barred from running? And they were saying that, the time's kind of running short on this. Some ballots have already been printed, I guess, in Georgia. But they're saying they can still take her off. She can be removed from the ballot. And, they could send a notice to the voters. Any votes for Marjorie Taylor Greene will be simply not counted. So it is still possible to do. Will Marjorie Taylor Greene be removed from the ballot? Will she be barred from running for office? Will she be barred from running for office? Or removed from the ballot, since, I guess technically she's already running, right? Will her participation in the insurrection remove her from the ballot? Let's take a look. Okay, well, we're starting off here with the Two of Wands. I'll bring it back up here. Okay, Two of Wands. There's two ways to go. There's the path of the light, there's the path of the dark. So there's a choice to be made here. Yes, that's what we're asking. What's the choice going to be? You can read a lot into the card. Of course, the path of the dark is to disregard her participation in the insurrection. Let these traitorous politicians in Congress so they can attempt coup version 2.0 from the inside, right? The light is to remove these traitors from their seats. There's two ways to go. Okay, fine. The challenge is the Three of Pentacles. So this has to do with cooperation, getting things done together with others. And this is the challenge. So, two things are occurring to me here. On the one hand, there is Marjorie Taylor Greens. Marjorie Taylor Greens work with others, with other insurrectionists in the work that they did to try and overturn the election, right? This was a conspiracy. She was not doing this alone. There was a conspiracy. And if this is a challenge, it could mean that because no other person has been arrested, charged with treason, charged with insurrection, right? None of these cases have really happened yet, except for a few of the rioters. But part of removing her is showing that she was part of the insurrection. Well, this insurrection was a conspiracy. It's something that a lot of people were involved in together. So proving that she was a part of this conspiracy could be a challenge here, okay? You can't just say, oh, just deal with her singly. She did the insurrection. She was part of the insurrection. These people are claiming that she was a part of a conspiracy that involved a lot of people. There's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of things going on. And, the law is very technical. You need to show that she did certain things, communicated with certain people, that she met certain standards to be part of this conspiracy of insurrection. So that's the challenge. That's what I'm getting for the court case itself. So that's my first hit on that. Other than that, when it comes to this court case, maybe there's some issues with the jury, the directions that you give to the jury, making sure everyone's on the same page. Maybe, there's some issues there, but I'm going more towards the technicalities of tying her to this insurrection because it was a conspiracy. However, in the end, for the result card, we have the Ten of Cups. This is my happy voter card, you guys. These are happy voters, happy families, people who are happy with the result. There's that rainbow of hope and peace, right? So this tells me that the voters are going to be thrilled with the results of this case, which tell me that they're going to take her off. They're going to take her off the ballot, that the case will be successful. The challenge might be met. They might be able to prove her participation in this insurrection beyond a reasonable doubt. Whatever it comes to, happy voters here. And no, I don't think those are happy Marjorie Taylor Greene voters either. This is a wider, this rainbow is of peace and, high vibration here. anyone who supports Marjorie Taylor Greene is nowhere near a high vibration person. Okay, so I'm going to say at this time, the cards are telling me that she will be pulled and the voters will be thrilled with that result. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow to get another reading in before the weekend. And until then, stay safe, everybody. Oh, hit like down there if you like the video. Subscribe if you're a new viewer. I'd love to have you. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody.